Hi Love Bug, welcome back to my channel. This is Priya, your Love Plus Manifestation Coach. And in today's video, I am going to be addressing how to transcend your emotional triggers so that you can change undesirable circumstances in your life. But before I get into this, I first want to make you aware of my brand new free masterclass, the proven 6-step formula to manifest your epic love life from within, that you can get instant access to right now by clicking the link below in the description box. Okay, let's now get back to the intention and the theme of this training: emotional triggers, how to transcend them. Now, before we go into how to actually transcend your emotional triggers, I first want to shine some light on what a trigger is, because this will help you ultimately to transcend them, and also shine some light on what trips up a lot of people so that you can avoid this moving forward. That will ultimately allow you to shift your reality for the better. So first, let's talk about what is a trigger. Simply put, a trigger always means that right now you are thinking a thought or you are buying into a story that is in opposition to what your higher self knows to be true. So a trigger means that you are buying into a thought, or that you are thinking a thought that is in opposition to the thought of your higher self, God, source, the universe, your soul, whatever you want to call it. And hence that's why you feel triggered. So an example of this could be that, let's say you desire to manifest a relationship and you've had a series of bad dates. And in your mind, you're feeling very triggered about this because you're thinking, well, why is it that I never seem to meet somebody I connect with or somebody that treats me well? Maybe I need to change a bit of my personality. Maybe I need to be more like this or less like that. And as you are thinking those thoughts, or as you are buying into that story of trying to change yourself, you feel negative emotion. You feel triggered by it. Well, the reason why you feel negative emotion, you feel that trigger, is because in that exact moment that you are thinking those thoughts, or you're telling that story, it is in opposition to the thoughts and the story that the universe or your higher self knows to be true about you. Because your higher self knows that you are lovable exactly the way that you are, that you are good enough exactly the way that you are, and that you are worthy exactly the way that you are. Therefore, when you start to nurture stories such as, maybe I need to be more like this or less like that, this is why it feels triggering to you. So triggers are really a simple thing. It just means that right now you are buying into a story that is not true. You're buying into a story that is a lie. Hence, you are feeling triggered. Now, what trips up a lot of people about triggers is simply this. When people are feeling triggered about something, most people never do anything to manage their triggers, to self-regulate their emotions, and to bring themselves back to alignment, back to the state of consciousness of love. Most people instead tend to nurture those triggers. And how do they do that? Simply by nurturing that negative story. So most people, they will tend to talk about this thing that triggered them. They'll go talk about it with their friends, their family. They'll go get people's advice about things, this negative thing that they experienced, without realizing that when you focus on the trigger and you continue to buy into that story, that negative story that is in opposition to your higher self, your trigger is going to grow, it's going to get bigger, but most importantly, it's going to block you from changing your realities, from manifesting something different and preferable into your reality. Because if you choose to nurture your trigger by talking about it more, by analyzing it, what you focus on expands. What you focus on, you flow energy to, and what you flow energy to grows, it gets bigger. And so you're going to recreate more of that negative experience in your reality because you haven't dropped the story. You're still in the story. You're involved in the story. You haven't detached it or dropped that story. So if you're still involved in the story, if you're still telling that negative story, you become a magnet for the stories that you tell. So you're going to continue to manifest more negative things in your life to demonstrate to you the story that you are telling. And so that is what trips up a lot of people. A lot of people, when they are triggered, instead of responding to their triggers and managing their triggers, they tend to nurture their trigger by talking about it and by making a thing out of it and by analyzing it. Now, when you choose to analyze and to nurture your trigger, you block yourself off from manifesting anything better, period. Now, conversely, when you choose to manage your trigger, when you choose to transcend your trigger, you begin to manifest something different into your reality. So managing your triggers and being able to transcend them or dissolve them is one of the most important skills that you will ever learn in this lifetime, because there will be things that trigger you. There will be things that you see that you do not prefer, that will cause you to feel negative emotion. That's a given. That will never go away. But what you can do is you can learn how to manage and dissolve your triggers so that you don't allow your triggers to overpower you. And when you do that, this gives you an opportunity to shift your reality and to manifest something different that you do prefer into your reality. So mastering your triggers, learning how to self-regulate your emotions and bring yourself back into alignment is super friggin' important. It completely changed my life. Because before I was somebody who used to nurture the triggers. And, sometimes I'd be triggered about things that would last like months on end. So, what you want to begin to do today, or what I invite you to begin to do today, is begin to respond to your triggers, begin to manage your triggers. And here's how you can do this. Now, it's first important to understand that when you are feeling triggered, that in that moment, your body has gone into fight and flight mode. So the first thing that you want to do when you are feeling triggered is you want to bring your body back into a relaxed state. You want it to know that everything is safe and that everything is okay. So your first port of call when you are feeling triggered is to calm the mind, is to relax, is to shift your body out of fight and flight mode, out of survival mode, and back into rest and restore and back into a relaxed state. Now you might be wondering, okay, how do I do this? This is where breath work comes in handy. Okay, breath work, breath work, breath work, breath work. I cannot tell you how important breath work is. Because when you begin to breathe and you take a few deep breaths at the very least, what is happening to your physiology is that you are activating your parasympathetic nervous system, which shifts your body out of fight and flight mode and back into rest and restore. And vibrationally, energetically, what is happening is you're shifting your vibration from lower frequencies back up to higher vibrations, back up to higher frequencies. So you're allowing your vibration to rise when you breathe. So whenever you are feeling triggered, your first port of call is to relax your mind, to relax your state of being, to let your body know that it is safe and it can let go of the fight and flight mode that it is currently in. And you do this by taking a few deep breaths. You take a deep breath in through your nose and out through your mouth. Now, when you're breathing, if you're truly breathing properly, you don't breathe in through your chest, you breathe in through your belly and then chest. So your belly should be popping out when you are breathing in. And when you're breathing out, your belly should go in. This is how you take deep breaths, and this is how you really breathe properly to allow the oxygen to get in. So it's like, you can probably see my belly going out there. automatically when you do this, you will begin to feel relaxed. Now, once your body is in a calmer state, this is where you want to consciously and intentionally drop the story. Because the only reason why you're feeling triggered, remember, is because right now you're telling a story that is out of alignment with who you truly are. So now that you've relaxed and calmed your body, you want to drop that story. You want to detach yourself from that story so that you're no longer buying into the story. And how you do this is just by becoming aware of the story that you're telling. Because once you're aware of that limiting story that you're telling, it means you're no longer buying into it. Because once you can see it, it's no longer a thing. You're no longer involved in the story. Now you've become conscious. Automatically, you're not buying into it once you're conscious of it. So once you kind of identify that story, in that moment, you then want to choose and decide to just drop that story by either changing it and replacing it with a better story that serves you and that supports what you want, or by completely shifting your focus and your awareness onto something else. Either way, it doesn't matter. The goal and the intention is to just drop that story. And here's the thing, until you drop that story, your trigger will not dissipate. You have to drop the story if you want your trigger to dissipate and to dissolve. But again, in order to be in a position where you can do that, you first have to relax your body and calm your mind. And you do that through the breath work, through the breathing. Now, I can tell you that once you do the breath work and you drop the story, you will begin to feel lighter and you will begin to feel better. And just know that in that moment, you've done something very powerful. In that moment, you have shifted your trajectory. You have opened yourself up to new possibilities and timelines. You've opened up yourself up to a new reality that is more reflective of what you desire and what you prefer. So managing your triggers is truly powerful, because ultimately this is the thing that is going to allow you to shift your realities. Because until you learn how to manage and dissolve and transcend your triggers, you will continue to be stuck in the same reality that you're in now. You will continually recreate the same negative reality over and over and over again, because you haven't dropped the story. You haven't dropped that limiting story. So transcending your triggers not only allows you to feel good in the now, it also is paving the way or giving you access to new possibilities and new timelines that are more in alignment with what you prefer and what you want. So my message from this video is this: your triggers are nothing more than you buying into a limiting story that you can choose and decide to drop anytime, because you have free will. And the tools that you want to apply when you are feeling triggered in the moment is that you want to remember that your first port of call is to get your mind and your body into a relaxed state, to shift out of flight and fight mode and back into rest and restore. And this is achieved through breath work, through breathing. Once you are in a relaxed, calm state, now you can deliberately and intentionally choose to drop that limiting story that you are buying into. Once you become aware of that limiting story, you are no longer buying into it. And in that moment, you have an opportunity to drop that story. And this is where your power lies. Through doing this, you're allowing yourself to create or to manifest something different, something better, something more preferred and desired into your reality. Thanks for watching this video, Love Bug, on how to transcend your triggers so that you can shift and change your undesirable circumstances. Don't forget to smash that like button if this video resonated for you. And remember to subscribe to my channel and to hit that notification bell so that you can be notified every time I post new videos around how to manifest your epic love life. Catch you soon.